Well, are you ready for Crisis on Infinite Earths? I know I am, and next year it's finally coming to life in animation. But how are they going to fit this all into one film? 90 minutes does not seem like enough for Crisis, and it turns out it won't have to do that. Let's break down the latest news about the update for Crisis on Infinite Earths and exactly how many films this project is going to work out to be. This is a big win for us fans. Well, you know, on this channel, we love ourselves some DC animation, and the fact that we're getting a Crisis on Infinite Earths movie, well, this might be the biggest news from DC animation in a really, really long time. Now, if you're a fan of this comic, you know this is a massive story, and was actually spilled out over 12 issues way back in 1985. Now, it basically served as a reset to the DC Comics universe, so I'm really curious how this fits into the current animation world, and how they would pack it into only one movie. Well, now in our update, we seem to have an answer to that question, because it appears it's not going to be one movie. Now, this doesn't come from DC Animation, James Gunn, or anybody official at DC Studios, but it does come based on a resume of Mike Milo, who is an animation director for Warner Brothers and has worked on several other projects, including Batman Caped Crusader. Now, what's come about is his resume, and his resume seems to indicate that Crisis will indeed be 3 different movies. Let's check out the screenshot. Now, obviously, this is a limited screenshot, and we want to be really careful for Mike's privacy here, so we've tried to remove anything that could be, well, none of our business. But in this shot, it does appear that he's working with Warner Brothers on Crisis 1, 2, and 3. Now, it doesn't escape me that he misspelled Crisis here, and I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a joke, or it's on purpose, or if they'll actually spell it that way, which I seriously doubt. But it does give an indication of how they are going to handle this project. I find it almost impossible that this movie could be fit into an hour-and-a-half or even a 2-hour animated feature. They've already tried to bring Crisis to life in live action on television, which basically required the whole Arrowverse, the Flash, Arrow, Batwoman, Supergirl, and Legends of Tomorrow brought together for a joint narrative in a multi-part special that was quite ambitious for a television project, and overall I thought they did a great job, but definitely wasn't the original books. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Crisis in general, the narrative of the story follows the heroes of multiple worlds as they join forces to defeat the Anti-Monitor, who is an all-powerful being that manages to wipe out a large portion of the multiverse. After the story completes, a new Earth is created and serves as the home for all the survivors of the event and as a baseline for a new DC world. That is fairly curious considering we just rebooted this version of the DC universe and they've got some great voice cast, so I'm not expecting a full reboot of the DC universe, but I am expecting some changes in what we have. I also have to wonder if we'll see other animated versions of some of our favorite characters from previous shows. I would not be surprised at all if DC Animation pulls on those nostalgia strings, pulls a Spider-Man No Way Home, and maybe gives us versions of characters like Superman and Batman from the Timverse, or even older iterations like we're teased in My Adventures with Superman recently when Mr. Mxyzptlk turned Superman into other versions of the character, which did include that Timverse, but also included the classic Super Friends, as well as the Max Fleischer version, which was a great joke but does give us some insights into the mental state of what's going on behind the scenes. Obviously, Crisis is going to be big. We're going to cover everything Crisis here. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button, and we'll bring you the next update as soon as it lands.